Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to. It's not coming through the thing. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. There you go. All right, give me 1 second.
Salam, sir.
Hold on, Ira. Let me just try to sort out this volume. Nah, it ain't working. Say something, Ira. Let me see if I can hear you.
Salam, sir.
Hold on. Let me see where this. Hold on. Say something now.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Hold on. Let me just work out the sound. Hold on. Audio. Hold on. Let me just. All right. Say something now.
Shalom, shalom. Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Say something now.
Shalom, shalom.
Yeah, no, I can hear
Mic
you.
check.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me just try see if he wants to come. Let me just try one more thing. 1 sec. Say something. Let me hear where the volume's coming from.
Shalom, shalom. 1 2 1 2. Mic check.
All right, say something now.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
I'm just trying to get it to come through. Actually, you know what? We might have to do it just through the laptop speaker because the volume ain't coming out of the aux. All right, Shalom. This is the ISUPK Wednesday Law class. Also, remember to check out Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, which is 2 a.m. Monday. There's also one on Saturday also. Check out the classes here in the UK. We have classes Monday through Friday. We have them live. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9 at 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. You can also watch the online ones, which is Tuesday and Friday, 7 p.m. till 9. So all our classes is 7 p.m. till 9. So they're all 7 p.m. till 9. Also, we have the radio show Friday on the ends. Check out that. Also, man, we just got back from the Passover yesterday, man. Ira, what day did you get back?
Today, sir. I just got back this morning. I got back this morning.
Most High in Christ. And listen, man, we had a ball of a time, man. Seeing brothers from different states, different countries. Everybody was there, man. It was great to be there, man. It'll make you come back with a complete different zeal. will make you come back and realize, damn, you're not alone. There's brothers all over the world fighting the same fight that you're fighting, man.
That's right.
Thing, man, to be there, to see all the brothers come together, brothers that you only see on YouTube, seeing them in the flesh. It was a beautiful feeling, man. So today we're gonna go into a few scriptures. How's the jet lag? You jet lagged though, you to Wab?
What's jet lag?
Oh, basically, like obviously when you was overseas in a different time zone.
No, I'm the opposite.
Same. Listen, man. I came in yesterday, had a good night's sleep, didn't wake up at no silly times. I feel, listen, my sleeping pattern is like I never left England, man.
Yeah, me also. Yeah, I just come back, but
I'm saying you're gonna sleep good tonight. Though. Hold on 1 second. Let me just X this off. Something's coming on the screen. All right, then if I could, Ira, get me hold on.
But actually, sir, you know what's funny? I left in the morning and I arrived in the morning.
Sorry, say that again.
I left over there in the morning and I also arrived in the morning. I mean, like daytime. Let me say like that.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just turn the speaker down. It's coming through loud. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we landed back at what time did we land back? I think we landed back at like 7:30 in the morning. And listen, man, the British people was asking us more questions. The British people at the airport was asking us more questions than in the American airport, man. It was asking us, where are you going now? I'm thinking, damn, I thought we was natives in England, man. I was thinking, damn, I thought we lived in England. We had to go through immigration to get back into England. And the way they was treating us is like we're immigrants, man. I was thinking, damn, well, we've been living here all our life. They don't even need to ask us these questions. But yeah, give me Luke chapter 22 and verse 1.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh.
And that's what we're in right now. The feast of unleavened bread. The feast of unleavened bread is what? When you can't eat nothing with active leavening, man. Where you can't eat nothing with leavening. So you can't eat bread, hard old bread, certain things with leavening, cakes and so forth, certain biscuits and stuff, whatever's got leavening. Obviously, you can't eat it. Why? Because we're in the feast of unleavened bread. So us doing this, we remembering what the Lord done for us in Egypt, man. Because when we was in Egypt, we had to eat in haste and we had to leave in a hurry. So the feast of unleavened bread is you remembering what your ancestors done when they was oppressed by the Egyptians, man. How the Lord delivered them. Are you celebrating the feast of unleavened bread? You show that you believe what is written in the scriptures, man. You show that you believe that your ancestors were slaves at a time in Egypt. So you do that in honor of them and what they went through, and the Lord coming through and delivering them out of Egypt. So you having unleavened bread shows that you believe what you're reading. Now Christians don't believe what they're reading, because if they did believe what they're reading, they would be eating unleavened bread too. But instead, they were celebrating Lent and all these things not long ago. Instead, they're getting ready to celebrate 420, which is what the 20th of April, where everybody gets high. Usually they go to Hyde Park and get high and smoke the best high grade money could buy, and they all get high listening to reggae in the park, and that's what they celebrate, man. That's what they believe in 420. As for us in the ISUPK, we don't believe in that garbage, man. We don't defile our temple by smoking weed and getting high. We don't purposely give ourselves cancer and all these illnesses. We don't purposely make ourselves a schizophrenic and all this stuff that is associated with the drugs that they're taking. But read on.
Which is called the Passover.
Which is called the Passover. And it's called the Passover why? Because the angels of the Lord passed over the houses which had the blood on the doorposts. And our fathers was in them houses, man. Because if they wasn't in them houses, guess what? We would be here today. They was in them houses, and the Lord caused them angels to pass over them houses and destroy our enemies. So don't give me that God loves everybody. Why? Because at this time, God loved the Israelites that had the blood on their doorposts, man. And the heathens didn't have blood on their doorposts. So they all died. At the time when the Israelites was doing this, the Egyptians must have thought, damn, they're crazy. Why are they putting blood on their doorposts? Same like today, we do certain things and people think, yo, these must be crazy because they don't understand that we serve the Lord and the Lord requires us to do certain things. People don't understand why we eat unleavened bread. People don't understand why we keep the Day of Atonement. People don't understand why we dress the way we dress, why we speak the way we speak. People don't understand why we do classes, why we do camp. To them, it just seems like a bunch of crazy niggas doing crazy things. But the time's coming when they're going to be forced to understand, man. When that destruction comes, these people that laugh at you and mock you, they're going to be looking for you. You're going to be that very same person they're looking for. Why? Because you have the answers, man. They're going to realize harm's coming their way and their family's way. But then they're going to realize no harm is coming your way. They're going to inquire and be like, why ain't no harm coming your way? And then you're going to tell them the truth. Now, there's some people that don't want to listen now, but hard times is going to force them to listen because you can only reject the truth for so long, man. And by you rejecting the truth, guess what? Your life ain't going to be good. There's no happy ending for you. By you rejecting the Lord and the truth, there's no happy ending for you. Though now you think your life is good and you're getting whatever you want. The pleasure of sin only lasts for a season, man. So you living disgusting lifestyle is only for a season. And then the time is going to come when the Lord's going to require it of you and your life is going to be destroyed, man. I would say you walk through these doors while you can. But I read on.
Verse 2. And the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people.
Read that again. Read that part again. I think he missed the part. Read it again.
And the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might kill him.
Meanwhile, these chief priests and these scribes were supposed to be getting ready for Passover. They was wondering how could they kill Yahushua, man. They had murder on their mind. Imagine. They should be getting ready to keep the Passover, and they're focused on killing their brother, man. They're focused on killing Christ. They're focused on how can they murder him, how can they catch him, how can they kill him, and all of those things. Meanwhile, they should be focusing on celebrating the Passover, but they was focusing on harming and hurting their brother. Go ahead.
For they feared the people.
And they was men pleasers, so they feared the people. And they was men pleasers, and they wanted to kill Christ, but they tried to work out how they could kill him because they feared the people. And Christ had what? Followers at that time. So they wanted to, murder him in a way where nobody would really know discreetly. They didn't want to take him Passover night because tons of people would be saying, yo, what you're doing is wrong. It's unjust. So they was premeditating how to kill him. Like, it's not like, it just happened. They got into a tussle and they accidentally killed him. They planned it. It was premeditated, man. And that's what murder is. Murder is when something is premeditated. So these chief priests and these scribes, who's supposed to be the leader of the nation, is planning how they could murder Christ. Meanwhile, they're teaching the laws every day. They're teaching that it's unlawful to kill. But while they're teaching that it's unlawful to kill, they're premeditating how to murder Yahushua, which lets you know what the Pharisees teach ain't what to do. If they taught what they teach, if they done what they teach, they wouldn't be planning here to kill an innocent black man. They wouldn't be planning to kill him if they practiced what they was preaching. What they was practicing was teaching the laws to everyone. Don't do this, don't do that. And behind closed doors, what are they doing? Planning to kill Christ, man. Planning it, which is premeditated. That's what murder is when it's premeditated. Now, murder ain't you and a man get into a fight and you punch him once and he dies. That's not murder because you didn't plan it in your head. It just happened that way. This is why the white man has laws about attempted murder, premeditated murder. They have different laws based on what it could be. If you planned it, then you get more years. Why? Because they say you've gone out of your way to plan this attack. This is why people who come out of their house with guns and whatnot and kill someone, they get more jail time. Why? Because the judge says, well, this was premeditated. Now, if you're just outside, you get into a fist fight and punch someone and they die, chances are you ain't going to get as much years as someone that's premeditated and planned this attack.
They
call it conspiracy to murder. So all of those things. And what these Pharisees and scribes doing right here is conspiracy to murder. So read that part again, Ira.
Kan, sir. From the top, you mean, sir?
Yeah, read it from the top. Go ahead.
Kan. And the chief priest and the scribe sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people.
And the chief priests and scribes sought how they might kill him, for the fear of the people. So now that was premeditated, man. They planned it all in their head. Go ahead.
Kan. Verse 3. Then entered Satan into Judas, surname is Iscariot.
So now Satan entered into Judas, and sometimes Satan's going to try jump on you. So you have to do the right thing, man. Satan, you see when you see in the UPK when we talk about a Passover demon, it jumped on Judas, man. Satan entered Judas. Why? Because he couldn't take a check-in. He couldn't take a check-in, and he let Satan jump on him. And that's what we need to not do. We need to not let Satan jump on us. Why? Because Satan will have you ruin your whole life for 5 minutes of whatever you do in that 5 minutes. For 5 minutes of rage when you're angry, Satan will jump on you and say, you know what, go do this, go and do that. And Judas let Satan use him, man. And that's why once the demon left him, he tried to return the money. Chief scribes and the scribes said, yo, we ain't putting no blood money in the temple and what in the treasury and whatnot. And Judas did what? When he killed himself, man, once that demon left him. So you need to be careful when that demon jumps on you. What are you supposed to do? Fight it, man. Use the scriptures. If something is telling you to do something opposite to the scriptures, then that is a demon, man. A demon can come in the form of what? In the form of one of your friends telling you garbage. A demon can come in the form of a box of cigarettes. Anything, man. Anything that's getting you to go against the truth is a demon, man. Don't let no demon. Imagine you have a hard day, and then in your mind it's like, you know what? I ain't smoked, but I'm gonna have a cigarette. That's a demon telling you to do that, man. How about you don't have a cigarette? So you need to fight and battle them demons, because these demons will do what? Jump on you so you don't receive a crown of life, because that's the last thing that they want you to get. It's Satan's job to weed out the weak. And then what will it do? It will jump. Satan will jump on you. And then what will he do after that? Go to the Lord and say, you see that man there that you said he's serving you? He ain't serving you, man. Look what I just made him do. Look what, then again, not look what I made him do. Look what he just did. Satan will go before the Lord and say, look, that man there that you said is worthy of a crown. I think you should just kill him here, worthy of a crown, because look, you said this man won't never smoke cigarettes. He's smoking a cigarette right now, man. This man's selling drugs right now. This man's taking drugs right now. Satan will do that, man. He'll jump on you. You do a ton of things when them demons is on you. And then when that demon leaves you, you're left with your thoughts feeling bad and all them things. You're supposed to fight them demons, man. Satan also tempted Christ. What did Christ do? Checked him with the scriptures, man. He tried to get Christ to do what? Go against the Lord. What did Christ do? Check him and said, yo, is it not written? Is it not written? Is it not written? And so forth. That's what you're supposed to do. Remember these scriptures, man. Remember them. Anything that's telling you to go against these scriptures is clearly a demon. Read on.
Being of the number of the 12.
Read on.
And he went his way, and cometh with the chief priests and captains, how he might betray him unto him.
So now this demon jumped on him.
Unto them.
Judas let this demon jump on him. And then he went to the chief priests and scribes who hated Christ and said, you know what? I'll set him up for you. I'll find a way to do it. So now he went to them, and because that demon's on him, he's going to set up the man who basically raised him, the man who basically taught him everything. He's going to go against this man that taught him everything and raised him up like a father. And why? Because this man couldn't take a check-in and is miserable about something and is allowed the demon to jump on him. He's gone to the very people that hate Christ, the chief priests and the Pharisees, and said, I'll betray him. And he knew that they wanted to kill Christ. So he was willing to get his brother killed, man. Why? Because a demon jumped on him. If a demon jumps on you, you should know it's wrong to get your brother killed in any situation, man. You should be able to go and speak to your brother. If you feel like you can't speak to your brother, there's a demon on you, man. If you're sitting down waiting for him to speak to you, the demon might just be on you. Maybe you should go and make the first move and speak to him. Don't be sitting down and waiting for him to call to speak to you. If you've got an issue, man, you pick up the phone and make that call. Don't be sitting down waiting, because guess what? He might not even know you have an issue with him. But while you're sitting down waiting and getting more angry and thinking certain things in your head, because when you dislike someone, everything they do annoys you, man. Every single thing. The way they talk, the way they walk, the way they eat. You got zero tolerance for that person and you dislike that person. So if you feel like that about someone, you should go and speak to them, man. You've got any issues with your brother, you go and speak to them. Don't just leave it waiting and be like, you know what? He ain't spoke to me, so I'm not going to speak to him. Because he might not even know there's an issue with you, man. He might just be, engulfed in his own life, going about his everyday business and thinks everything's fine between the two of you. But in your mind, you could be like, oh, I don't like the way he done this. He doesn't like me. Like a ton of people say, this person don't like me. And then you ask them, well, how do you know they don't like you? Oh, I just can tell. That's a demon, man. That's a demon telling you someone don't like you. Until they tell you they don't like you, then that's a demon telling you that, man. You're assuming somebody don't like you. Why? Because of how they looked at you. Maybe that's just their face, man. Maybe they was just busy when they saw you. But you're assuming someone don't like you is dumb as could be. Maybe this person's not even thinking about you. Maybe this person has their own problems to deal with. But if you feel that way, you go to that brother, man, and be like, yo, is there issue between us? Because I feel a certain way. Address it, man. That's the only way you're gonna get closure is by addressing whatever you think the issue is. But if you don't, what's gonna happen? A demon's gonna jump on you, and then before you know it, you're gonna be conspiring to harm your brother, man. You're gonna have a certain hatred towards your brother, and you're gonna what you're gonna do is try and turn other brothers against that brother. Why? Based off you not liking them. So because you don't like them, it's gonna be your goal to get everybody to not like them. When really we just need to get along, man. Like at the Passover, all of us got along just fine, man. Brothers from every country, every city, we got along just fine. And that's how it's supposed to be, man. Brotherhood is what's going to keep this nation together. Go ahead.
Another one come. Verse 5. And they were glad and covenanted to give him money.
And what?
And covenanted to give him money.
And they covenanted to give him money. So now, Judas, he loved money so much that he would do anything for money. That's what they offered him money, man. The Bible says, for the love of money is the root of all. Hold this, but give me that precept. I think it's 1 Timothy 6 and somewhere.
First what you say, sir?
I think it might be 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10.
6 and 10.
I believe so. It might be that one.
Cancer, it is. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
For the what?
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
And for the love of money is the root of all evil. This doesn't say to have money is to be evil. It says if you love money so much, it's the root of all evil, man. Money is the reason why people sell drugs. For the love of money. For the love of money is why people become contract killers. For the love of money is why women take off all their clothes and swing from a pole. For the love of money is the root of all evil, man. All evil stems from people's love of money. Because people love money so much that they're willing to do anything for it, man. And Judas's love of money got his brother killed, man. Judas's love of money caused him to rob from his brothers. This man's dipping into the treasury, robbing everybody. For his love of money caused him to rob his brothers, man. For his love of money caused him to love the brotherhood less because he loved that brotherhood more. No, he loved that money more than the brotherhood. That's why he was dipping into it, stealing it. He was a thief. Acting like he cared about the poor, but he was a thief. So his love of money made him go against the brotherhood, man. Made him diss the brotherhood because he would rather steal from his brothers. He would rather rob his brothers because his love for money was stronger than how much he loved his brothers. So we need to make sure our love for money ain't stronger than the love of our brothers, man. Because what will happen if we'll end up being thieves like Judas? We'll end up being thieves, robbers, and stick-up kids if our love for money is stronger than the love for our brothers, man. And Judas had that strong desire and that strong lust for money that he took money to betray his brother, man. Whereas he should have said, I love my brother so much, no amount of money you offer me can make me go against him. No amount of money you offer me can make me go against my brother, man. Because money is just paper and it comes and goes. but this brotherhood is going to be around forever, man. And I'm part of this brotherhood. I'm not going to leave this. I'm not going to leave this truth over my love of money. I'd rather leave the money, but at least they can fall become my brothers. And Judas left that brotherhood, and he realized he can't fall become money, man. That's why in the end he threw the money. He threw the money away anyway, and went and killed himself because he knew what he done was disgusting. Go ahead.
Gone. Which will some covet after?
Say that. Read it again.
Será que será some coveted? What's the word?
Sorry. Say that. Say that one more time.
I'm having some issue to pronounce this word.
Hold on. Give me a second. Let me get there with you.
Covet after.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay then. Which will some covet after?
And some people covet the money so much that they leave the way of the truth because the love of that money means more to them than this brotherhood. The love of that money means more to them than everything, man. They love money so much that they ain't going to do what they're supposed to do. They love that money so much that the love of that money means more to them than going to the Passover or whatever. The love for that money means more to them than spending or whatever. The love of that money means more to them than doing what they're supposed to do. They'd rather keep that money because they love it so much. Listen, every last one of us went broke going to Passover, man. But we still went, man. We went broke going to the Passover, but we still went. You know why? Because we understand Passover is the law, and we understand. Don't worry, we'll just do overtime when we get back. We understand when we come back, we'll just do overtime and make that money back. We didn't sit down with a pot of money and say, I'm not going to go to the Passover because I'm going to be $2,000 down. We said, damn that, we're going to go to the Passover and we worry about money when we get back to England, man. And this morning, I'm worrying about the money now that I'm back in England, man. I worry about it now, but the Passover was beautiful, man. It was an experience. And these are the things that we're supposed to be doing, man. When you go there, you realize that seeing your brothers makes you realize money don't mean nothing, man. Seeing your brothers makes you realize that half these cares we have don't mean a damn thing, man. While you're with the brothers, man, you forget all the stresses of life. It's like you don't have no stress, man. It's like you don't have no stress whatsoever. You realize what really matters. And it's an experience, man. I mean, I could tell you, but tell you don't. Listen, I can't explain it to you as good as it would be for you to see. Like, you need to see it. Read on Ira. Actually, you can drop that one. Take me back to Luke.
Long answer. This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 6. And he promised and sought opportunity to betray him unto them. And
sought opportunity to betray him. Go ahead.
In the absence of the multitude. Then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed.
So now, Christ and his men is keeping the Passover. They're all keeping the Passover. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Then came the verse 8. And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare us the Passover, that we might eat.
So now Christ gave them an order. Go and prepare the Passover that we may eat. Christ gave his men a Passover. Same like in here, you get orders, man. One man's job will be to do this and do that and do this. Christ had men under him who had jobs, man. And their job was to go and prepare the Passover. Same like in the UPK, there's brothers whose job it is to go and prepare the Passover. It's their job to go prepare the lamb, the grills, the unleavened bread. Make sure they got enough. Make sure they got this. Make sure they got that. All of those things. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And they say unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare?
Now they asked him, so where are we going to prepare? Why? Because they needed a venue for the Passover. They needed a venue to host the Passover. So they said, okay, where are we going to prepare it? Where's the venue? Go ahead.
Verse 10. And he said unto them, Bold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entered in. And ye shall say unto the good man of the house, the master say unto thee, where is the guest chamber?
Now,
Where
Christ said, "Where? To a venue, man." He said, when you see a man with a pitcher, follow him into the house and ask them where is the guest chamber. Meaning what? They was getting a venue for the Passover, man. Same like with us, we have to go look, for venues for the Passover, venues for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Nice venues, man. We go look for nice venues. People make out like wanting nice things is a sin. Listen, man, Christ and them also got a nice venue. Read on.
Another one can.
Verse 11, you was at.
Yes, but yeah. Where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples.
Christ wanted the venue so he could keep the Passover with his brothers, man. Go ahead.
And he shall show you a large upper room furnished.
A large upper room, what?
Furnished.
A large upper room, what?
Furnished.
Man, Christ and them had their Passover in a venue which was furnished, man. Don't give me none of this. The Passover, you're not meant to have a nice venue. Listen, man, Christ and them had their Passover in a nice furnished venue. I hear people talking about why do we have to pay for the Passover if it's free? Listen, man, if you want the Passover for free, you go and find us a nice furnished venue for free. Then find us a nice furnished venue for free that don't cost no money, and then we'll have it for free. Find us the lambs which is free and the bread which is free, and then we'll have it for free, man. Until then, pay your Passover fees, man.
That's right.
Until then, you pay your Passover fees, man. Don't give me none of this. Christ and them didn't charge for this. And listen, man, the venue's not free. These nice plates that you're eating from ain't free. This cutlery is not free, man. Until then, until you can get us all these things for free. No, actually, you know what? You bring two lambs of your own to Passover, and your own cutlery, your own chairs, your own table, and then maybe you don't have to pay. Until then, you pay your Passover fees, man. All of this, it should be free. Listen, man, to have a nice furnished venue, do you know how much money a venue costs? A venue ain't free, man. And if a venue is free, you find us one for free, man. Let us host lectures there. Let us host feast days there. Let us do everything there when you find us this free venue. Until then, you just be quiet and pay your Passover fees, man. Read on.
There, make ready.
Then what?
There, make ready.
So now, they would go to the venue which was furnished, and then they would make ready, like they would get the tables ready, the lamb ready, the unleavened bread ready. They would make it ready. Why? Because this is the Passover. So they went to a nice furnished venue. Like people are making out like black people didn't have style from back then. Of course they did, man. They had their Passover in a furnished room. Go ahead.
Another one can. Verse 13. And they went and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover. And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, which desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer.
So Christ is laying it down to them, saying, yo, I've desired to eat this Passover with you, man, before I suffer. I mean, these is his brothers, man. These is his brothers that he's rolling with, and he wants to eat with them, man. Like us, we eat with our brothers and whatnot. So Christ is breaking it down to them. I've desired to eat this Passover with you, man, before I suffer. Because Christ knew this was about to be his last Passover, and they was coming for him that night, man. He understood that night they was coming for him. So he spent it with who? His closest brothers, man. His brothers that was down with him. That's who he spent it with. Go ahead.
Another one can. For I say unto you, I will not anymore eat thereof until
he ain't gonna eat thereof, man. Why? Because he ain't gonna be here to eat thereof. So he's saying, yo, I desire to eat this meal with you brothers, man. He's sitting down. He's in charge of them. So they're all around the table, and he's breaking it down to them, man. That yo, I'm gonna suffer after this. Go ahead.
until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of Yahweh.
Saying, letting them know after this, the next time I'm breaking bread and drinking wine with you, brothers, is in the kingdom, man. Once all is fulfilled, once all's fulfilled, then I'm going to be breaking bread and keeping the Passover with you, brothers, man. That's what is letting them know. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And he took the cup and gave thanks,
And he
and
took the
said,
thanks, man. Gave thanks to the Lord. Go ahead.
and said, take this and divide it among yourselves.
So now, he took the cup of wine and told them, look, divide it amongst yourselves. Go ahead.
For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of this vine until the kingdom of Yahweh shall come.
And Christ is saying, listen, I ain't going to drink of this wine until the kingdom of heaven shall come. Why? Because not everyone is worthy to drink of the vine with Christ, man. Christ is saying, yo, in the kingdom, I'm going to drink of the vine with righteous men that actually changed their life and meant it. Like meaning, I ain't going to drink of the vine right now with niggas that is in the truth today and out the truth tomorrow. Christ ain't going to drink of it till the kingdom, when them men are sealed and he knows who's down, man. That's when he's going to drink of the vine and break bread. Because there's tons of people who would be breaking bread and their heart ain't sincere, man. They'll be eating with you and they ain't really down with you like that. They're just there for the food. They're just eating and drinking just to eat and drink. Christ is saying, listen, man, I'm gonna drink it new with you in the kingdom, man. I'm sure is it this verse or is it not? Hold that. See if you can find that precept for me where it says I'm gonna drink. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let me Google it. Hold on. Christ says I'm gonna drink of it new with you in the kingdom, man. Hold on, give me a second.
Like I said, I don't know that one. So.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just try and find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. All right, hold that. Give me Matthew 26 and 29. But hold that because we're coming back there. Let me see if this is the right one. I'm sure it's the same. I'm sure it's the same account. It might be the same account, just worded a little different. Hold on, give me 1 second. But yeah, get there. It might be Matthew 26, 29.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 29. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
Henceforth.
Just a different gospel worded differently. Go ahead.
Of this fruit of the vine, until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
Listen, man. Christ is saying, I'm not going to drink of the fruit of the vine until I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom, man. Meaning, Christ ain't drinking wine again until he drinks it with some real niggas, man. Until he drinks with real niggas that was down for him, that stood for him, and not no fake niggas that was in the truth one day and not in the truth tomorrow. They don't want to drink it with them, man, because they ain't worthy to drink with him. So he ain't going to drink it until it's new, until it's in his Father's kingdom, man. And then he's going to drink with who? Men that stood stiffly for him, men that kept their oath, men that was about what they say they're about. That's who he's going to drink it with, man. He ain't trying to drink it with somebody that claims they're in the truth today and then they're not in the truth tomorrow. He ain't trying to drink it with them, man. So he's going to drink it new in his Father's kingdom, man. When the righteous man is going to be beside him, when him and the righteous men that follow him, that followeth the Lamb wherever he goeth, he's going to drink it with them men, man. Take me back to Luke 22.
We was at 19.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he took bread and gave thanks, and brake it, and gave unto them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me.
It says, this do in remembrance of me, man. This is my body which is given for you, man. Meaning what? Christ died so we can get a second chance, man. All these things that we do is in remembrance of him. What he went through, we remember these things by keeping the Passover and doing all these things, man. It goes, this do in remembrance of me. He's sitting down with all his men, breaking bread and saying, this do in remembrance of me, man. After camp and so forth, we break bread. And our mission, when we go out to camp, we go and do what? Teach about the kingdom of Christ, man. Teach about the Most High and a black man dying for our transgression so we can come back. We teach all these things, man. And then we break down the meal and eat. And we do all these things in remembrance of him. Go ahead.
Another one can. Verse 20. Likewise, also the cup after the supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood, which I shed for you.
She's talking about the new covenant, man. Because under the old covenant, well, we broke it. So the fault wasn't the covenant, the fault was us. So in order for us to come back, there had to be a new covenant, man. Because why we broke the old covenant. So Christ is saying, yo, this is my blood, which brings forth the new covenant, meaning gives you a second chance. So Christ's blood had to be shed so we get a second chance. And what are we going to do with that second chance? We're supposed to keep all the laws we can keep, man. We're supposed to keep all the laws in the Bible because we have a second chance. Whereas before we knew we had this chance, we was doing whatever we wanted. Like crimes don't just go away. Like you could have, broke the law, broke Esau's law for 10 years, and then you could have said, "Oh, I didn't know I was breaking the law. I'll stop now." Them fines you're still gonna have to pay them fines, man. I mean, you can't be like, you know what? I've been doing 17 or 40, but I didn't know. I thought it was 70. All them fines, someone has to get the punishment for it, man. Meaning all the crimes that we was doing before, someone had to get the punishment for it, and Christ took that punishment for it, man. He said, you know what? All them laws you didn't know you was breaking, this is my body. My body's broken for them things. Now that you know, stop breaking them laws, man. Because if you still break them, it's like you crucify him again and you spit in his face and you walk all over him, man. And you say to him, yeah, you die, and it don't mean nothing to me. I'm going to keep doing what I want anyway. You basically belittle him, man, and degrade him and degrade what he went through, man. You basically, what he went through, you basically say, damn that, I don't care what he went through. That's a him problem. That's what you basically say, well, that's his problem. Meanwhile, you were supposed to go through it. So how much more are you going to be punished when the time comes when you had that second chance and done nothing with it, man? Read on.
Verse 21. But behold, the hand of him that betrayed me is with me on the table.
And Christ said it straight, man. The hand of him that betrayed me is on the table with me, man. Meaning, imagine this. Judas is such a bitch. He's sitting on the table breaking bread with Christ, and he's got an issue with him, man. At least if you got an issue with him, man, don't be at the table. He's at the table acting like everything's cool, acting like everything's nice, breaking bread and eating food with a man that he hates, man. With a man that he's going to set up to get killed. Don't do that, man. Imagine that he's breaking bread with him, and you're afraid to tell this man that you have an issue with him. You're afraid to tell this man how much of a coward you are. Meanwhile, you're sitting down making that everything's nice, attending all the events, attending the Passover in the upper room, breaking bread, drinking wine, eating, acting like you love the brotherhood, acting like you love the brothers, and behind closed doors, you're seeking to go and get the brother killed, man. Don't be that man. Don't be like Judas. Hold that, but give me a 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 23. But hold that because we're coming back there.
33 or 23?
1 Corinthians 11 and 23.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 23. For I have received of the Lord that which also I deliver unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat. This is my body, which I broke for you. This do in remembrance of me.
So now Paul's giving them a reminder, man. when Christ broke the bread and so forth, and he said, "This do in remembrance of me." Go ahead.
After the same manner also he took the cup when he had
Now,
supper.
it's talking about what we just read in Luke, the 22nd chapter, when Christ is breaking down the bread and giving the wine, and then he's saying, "Yo, the man that betrays me is sitting on the table with me." So now, Paul's giving them a reminder that, look, none of you be one of them. None of you be like Judas, who's sitting on the table with a brother that you don't like. Don't be acting like you love the brotherhood, and deep down you got hatred for your brother or sister, man. You're acting like you love everybody, and these times you got hatred for your brother or sister. You're eating with them, but in your mind you hate them and can't stand them. Paul's giving an order like, look, man, learn the lesson from what happened with Yahushai and Judas. Go ahead.
For as often as ye eat the bread and drink this uh, cup, ye do show the Lord death till he come.
And what Christ said, do this in remembrance of me. So while we here at these feast days breaking down bread and eating together, we doing these things in remembrance of Christ, man. And remembering Christ is brotherhood, man. We're meant to have brotherhood with one another. So you're doing this thing wrong if you hate your brother, man. You're breaking bread with them, eating with them, acting like everything's cool, and you've got a certain amount of hatred towards them, man. You dislike them, you hate them, you can't stand them. You're doing this thing wrong, man. And you're no different to Judas. Because by you doing that, eating with your brothers, but deep down you hate them and can't stand them, you are Judas, man. You're looking at Judas like Judas is this evil man. When you and Judas are exactly the same, man. You and Judas have the same mind, and you think alike. If you're going to sit down and break bread with your brother and deep down you hate them, you and Judas have more in common than you think. You think, oh, Judas was just one man that was evil. You're the same as Judas, man. If you've got a problem with someone and you don't address it, but you want to sit down and eat bread and act like everything's nice and calm, Judas also done that same thing, man. Sat down and acted like everything is nice and calm. Everybody always likes to single out Judas, not realizing they're Judas too, man. Not realizing that they're similar to Judas. If you're going to sit down with someone that you dislike, break bread and not tell them you have an issue, especially in the truth, man. At these feast days, man, we're supposed to come together and love one another. We ain't supposed to have hatred for no brother and sister in our heart and be like, I can't stand them. If we have any issues, that's what counsel's there for, man. Judas didn't use that counsel button. He just kept that hatred in his heart and found the chance to go and betray his brother. And Paul's giving them a reminder of this right now. Read on.
Verse 27. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink of this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord.
And if you drink unworthily and eat unworthily, meaning you ain't down with this brotherhood, but you're just eating and drinking and you dislike everybody in here, you're guilty, man. Because this place is a place where brothers love one another, man. This place is a place where we love one another, and we're supposed to love one another. And you can't eat with me, and I think everything's cool. And in your mind, you can't stand me, man. You're wishing me harm and you hate me. You're eating unworthily, man. Meaning you ain't even worthy to be around the brothers. And Judas wasn't worthy to be around the brothers. But what did he do? He was around them, acted like he was this great man, eating and drinking, and he betrayed Christ, man. If you're that kind of person, you hate brothers and sisters, and they don't even know you have an issue with them, but you're so much of a coward that you can't even tell them you have an issue with them. You're the same as Judas, man. All up in the feast days, oh shalom, this and that, oh shalom, saluting everybody. But deep down, you hate everyone, man. If that's you, you're the same as Judas, man. You're no different. You're looking at Judas like, yeah, Judas was just this one man that was evil. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and realize the traits that he had. You also have them too. If you can't speak to a brother or sister about an issue, man, but you want to break bread and eat with them, but deep down you hate them, Judas done the same thing, man. What separates you from him? What will separate you from him is you putting a brother or sister aside and saying, yo, I've been feeling this type of way. Let's sort it out. Let's iron out the issue. But if you just hold it in and you're eating with someone that's not even aware there's an issue, you and Judas have a lot in common, man. You two are both the same, but you just don't know it. Read on. But based off what we're reading, you're doing the same thing he's doing, which means you have a lot in common. Read on.
Verse 28. But let a man examine himself.
And examine yourself, man. Examine yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Have I addressed my issues? Should I go to counsel? Am I overthinking this? Is my mind playing tricks on me? Examine yourself, man. Am I really in the truth? Do I really love these brothers? Am I really part of this brotherhood? Examine yourself, man. Look in the mirror and open them scriptures and line up them scriptures next to yourself, man, and say, well, based off what I'm reading in the Bible, do I fit the description of a righteous man or an unrighteous man? Examine yourself, man. Ain't hard. Examine yourself. You hold that Bible, read them scriptures, man, and be like, based on my lifestyle, am I a righteous man or am I an unrighteous man? You open the records and examine yourself. Go ahead. That's the only way you're going to get change is what? You examining yourself and sometimes acknowledging, while I'm wrong, while I could be a better person, blah, 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 blah. You have to examine yourself, man. Go ahead.
Counsel. And so let him eat of the bread and drink of that cup.
And now it says, examine yourself, man. Before you eat anything, man, you sort out your issues with your brothers and sisters, man. Before you eat anything, you sort out your issues. I'm overreacting to certain things.
1 second, sir.
That's what you're supposed to do, man. Don't be have a ton of hatred in your heart. I hate this particular person, but then you're eating and drinking with them, and they don't even know there's an issue. What's gonna happen with that is you're gonna do what Judas did. The time's gonna come when you're gonna try and do that person some harm, and Judas did it, man. This hatred was him not dealing with his issues, man. It stemmed from him being a thief and a crook and a criminal, man. Which when the Bible says if you break one law, you broke them all. And from Judas being a thief, he broke one law, and it led to him breaking them all. It started off as a petty thief, and then for the love of money, it turned into him getting his brother killed, man. And that's how it usually starts. As a child, you start off as a petty thief. Then as you get older, you turned into an armed robber. Probably end up killing someone during a robbery. Whereas your initial plan, you was just a thief. Now you're an armed robber now, going equipped. Listen, man, one sin just leads to a next. And each day, you add the next one to it. You add the next one to it. You add the next one to it. Until you're a full-out sinner and you're committing some heinous crimes that you didn't plan to be committing in the first place. If you are breaking any laws, you just nip them in the bud from now. Because it don't stop with you breaking one law. You break one, you break all of them. Breaking one law usually ties into breaking the second law, and the third law, and the fourth law. And then before you know it, you're breaking every single law until the Lord either kills you or you're in prison for a long time and the whole world forgets you exist or those kind of things. So you rather nip it in the bud from now. Go ahead.
Verse 29. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation unto himself.
Read that again.
For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh.
Because Judas ate and drank unworthily. And he's letting them know, look, man, don't be like Judas, eating and drinking unworthily, not resolving your issues. If you do that, drink unworthily, go ahead.
Drinketh damnation to himself.
Meaning what? You're drinking damnation to yourself. Why? Because you're a virus to this brotherhood, man. You're faking like you're a brother, eating and drinking around us, and deep down you can't stand us, man. You're eating and drinking unworthily, and you bring damnation on yourself. Don't you know the Lord protects this brotherhood, and He ain't gonna let you fake and ruin it, man. If you're feeling that type of way, you just stay far away from us, man. You stay far away. Right. Don't even come around us. If you're gonna eat and drink unworthily because you can't stand us, because you hate some of us, you stay far away. Stay all the way around us, man, and save your life by staying away from us, man. Instead of you coming here and drinking damnation to yourself. Because the people in the school, the Lord protects them and the Lord loves them. And you eating and drinking unworthily because you hate a brother or sister in here is you drinking damnation to yourself. Why? Because you're faking like you're a brother or sister. You're faking like you're one of us. And deep down, you can't stand us. Deep down, you have hatred towards us. Read on.
Kan er dan kan. Not discerning the Lord's body.
Not discerning the Lord's body, meaning what? All these brothers and sisters is coming together here. Why? The reason they're coming here together is why? Because they're serving the Lord, man. They have one common understanding that we here to serve the Lord. And if you hate them in your heart, you ain't there to serve the Lord, man. You ain't discerning the Lord's body. How about you just take yourself to Nando's on your own and eat, man? How about you just go be miserable on your own? You can do that by yourself. You don't need to come around us and eat and drink unworthily. You just go you just go eat on your own if you feel a certain type of way. If you feel hatred towards anyone in here, go ahead.
Kan er dan kan. Verse 30. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you.
This cause many are weak and sickly among you, man. For this cause, many people become weak and sick because you're disobeying the Lord, man. You're eating and drinking unworthily, and the Lord's going to strike you down with some sickness. You're going to get stricken down with some illness or something, man. Go ahead.
And many sleep.
And this is how serious it is that many people die, man, for trying to disrupt the brotherhood. Many people die for faking it, man. For this cause, many sleep. Still hold Luke, but give me Matthew chapter 18 and verse 21.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 21. Yahweh shall say unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times.
Go per verse so you can get the backdrop.
Current answer. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 20. For when 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
When 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Go ahead and listen, man. When we breaking bread and drinking and eating, and all the brothers is coming together, Christ is there in the midst of us, man. And you eating and drinking unworthily, you're disrupting this brotherhood, man. Christ, when 3 or more is gathered in my name, I'm in the midst of them, man. Meaning that brotherhood, Christ is there, man. And you eating and drinking unworthily, you're disrupting this brotherhood, man. If you feel like that, you better sort out your issues, man. Because Christ is in the midst of us. And yet the Lord sees what? That your heart ain't sincere, that you've got hatred towards this person, and you're such a coward you don't know how to deal with it or don't want to deal with it. When all the way to deal with it is right there, counsel, just pull that person aside. You know what? I've been feeling a certain type of way. And contrary to popular belief, if you actually speak to someone, it can change. It can fix a lot of things, man. Used to have a nice conversation, it can change a lot of things. Sometimes you're feeling a certain type of way that someone's feeling a certain type of way about you, and they ain't even feeling that way. But the demon in your head, the demon in your little head is telling you this person don't like you. When how do you know? Why don't you ask the person, man? Maybe the demon in your head could be lying to you, man. No, the demon in your head is usually incorrect, but you follow those demons in your head. You know the demon in your head is a liar, telling you this person don't like you. So now you don't like this person. Why? Because you listen to the demon in your head. Whereas you could just cut that demon out and ask the person direct. You could just ask them direct. That's what you could do. But instead you sit down and listen to the demon. Such and such don't like me. How do you know? Oh, I just think so. The way such and such cut their eye after me. The way such and such. Ask them, man. Don't listen to that demon in your head. You listening to that demon in your head, you ain't gonna like nobody. Why? Because that demon wants you to itself, man. That demon wants you all to itself. How does that demon get you all to itself? By telling you nobody likes you. By telling you they all hate you. And then you listen to that demon, and what do? You close yourself off and don't address it. And then before you know, it's just you and that demon in your head. Whereas you think someone don't like you, just ask them, man. Just say, oh, I've been feeling like there's an issue. Do we have an issue? That's it, man. It's simple. That way now the demon gets mad because now you've erased them, you've cut out the middleman. Listen, what's stopping you from going to your brother and speaking to them is the middleman in your head, and the middleman in your head is this demon, man. The middleman in your head is convincing you that this person don't like you. Is convincing you don't speak to them because they're not going to listen. Don't speak to them because they don't care. This demon's trying to get you to itself, man. Read on.
Canada one answer. Verse 20. For where no wait. For where 2 or 3 21. Salaki. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him?
Now he's asking, how much time should my brother trespass against me and I forgive him, man? How much things should he do and I let it slide? How much things should I let slide? So now Christ is going to answer him. Go ahead.
Salaki, still Peter asking, he asked, till 7 times. And verse 22, Yahweh shall say unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
So now, what they're saying is, yo, if your brother trespasses against you and he says Salak and apologizes and acknowledges he was wrong, you forgive him, man. Now, if someone don't acknowledge they was wrong, then obviously you don't have to be cool with them because they ain't even acknowledged that they was wrong. But if they say Salak, yeah, I messed up, I shouldn't have done that. At least they've acknowledged they was wrong. Now, some people don't acknowledge the wrong, and this is what council's for. So you'll go to council, and then you'll be in front of the generals. You both will say your piece. The generals will decide who's right, who's wrong. If that person is wrong, and they don't acknowledge that they was wrong, they still believe they're right, then they get kicked out of the school. It's that simple. But if they acknowledge they was wrong, then you and them have to move past that transgression. You have to forgive them and be like, okay, then he acknowledged he was wrong. He's not going to do it again. So if your brother trespasses against you, say Salakia, you forgive them, man. But obviously, that's if they acknowledge the wrong. What verse you at?
We at verse 23, sir.
Give me the one. Give me the one with the gift at the altar. Yeah, verse 15 actually. Yeah, go to verse 15.
Another one. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault.
Wait, do what? What did it say you must do?
Go and tell him his fault.
It says go and tell him his fault. Go and tell him what he done wrong. It didn't say keep it inside your head and listen to the demon in your head. It says do what?
Go and tell him his fault.
And also, when you go and tell him his fault, don't go there full of arrogance. Don't go there with an ego. You just go there humble and speak correct, man. Because if you speak correct, a brother's more likely to hear you. If you speak correct, man. But if you go there running your mouth, obviously it's not going to hear you, man. The situation is just going to be made worse. There's a way to address one another, man. When there's issues, there's a way to speak to one another. Like we need to learn to speak to each other correct. Now, if there's an issue and I come to you well spoken and nice and polite, maybe you might understand. But if I come to you and call you out of your name and come aggressive, obviously you're not going to acknowledge you're wrong. We're both going to do what? End up getting into a fist fight, man. Learn how to speak to your brother, man. Learn how to speak to your brother with love and address the situation correctly. Hold that, but give me hold on one sec. Let me see if I can find it. It's proverb somewhere. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. It might be Proverbs 13 and 1. Hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, give me Proverbs 15 and 1. But hold that because we're coming right back there. So give me Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 1.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath,
Read that
but
again.
a soft answer turneth away wrath.
A soft answer turneth away wrath. So now you approach your brother properly and you speak to him correct. Says a soft anger turns away wrath. But if you don't know how to speak to each other, what's going to happen? There's going to be a ton of arguments, man. If you don't know how to speak to your brother or your sister, you just go there running your mouth, full of ego, raising your voice, not picking your words correctly. Then there's going to be then that person's going to be angry, man, because you ain't speaking to them correct. You're going over there running your mouth. You don't know how to speak. You don't know anything. You're just running your mouth. Of course, there's going to be issues, man. That's why there's so many issues on the streets. Why? Because no one gives a soft answer. Now, does a soft answer mean that you must be soft? No, man. It's just knowing what choice of words to use. It's just knowing how to approach a situation. If you don't know that, then you're going to end up in problems, man. You're going to end up in arguments every single day of your life because you don't know how to use your words appropriately. You run your mouth so much. You run your mouth so much and wonder why half the time you're getting attacked and beat up because you run your mouth too much, man. You don't know how to speak properly. Read that precept one more time.
Canada one answer. A soft answer turneth away wrath.
Soft answer turneth away wrath. If someone's angry with you, man, or if someone, or if you speak to someone correctly, there's no need for them to get angry because you've gone up there, you've used the right words, you spoke properly. But if you go speaking not properly, you go running your mouth, speaking like I don't know, speaking like he's someone, speaking like you're gonna do them harm. That's not gonna turn away wrath, man. That invites what? A demon to jump on that other person. That invites a demon to jump on the other person, and then before you know it, used to running, chasing each other around with knives, used to trying to kill each other. Why? Because that soft answer wasn't there in the beginning, man. Sometimes you be walking, you see 50 niggas all looking at you, you just break the ice, shalom. You just say, hey, shalom, break the ice, man. They'll hear shalom and they'll be like, oh, imagine they'll be like, oh, we was looking at him like he's going to do us harm and he gave us the shalom. They ain't used to hearing that word. But if you see a gang of 50 niggas and they're looking at you angrily, like how we stare at each other, and you say, what the F you looking at? That's not going to turn away wrath. That's not going to stop them from jumping you and ripping your head off. By you using the correct choice words, a soft answer turns away wrath. Meaning, a soft answer can diffuse a ton of problems, man. Meaning, just being skilled in knowing how to speak to certain people. Now you have to use discernment. Obviously, everybody you speak to differently. You have to use discernment. So now it says a soft answer turns away wrath. And if you've got an issue with your brother, man, you go up to him with a soft answer, man, and it will turn away wrath. You don't just go up to him and say, yo, I noticed you've been giving me funny looks. What's your issue? If you go up to him like that, yo, you've been giving me funny looks. What's your problem, man? I'm sick of you. Now, if you go to them like that, they're going to come back with what they're going to say. Whereas if you just say, hey, Shalom, I was just wondering, is there any issue between me and you? Because, I don't know, I've just been feeling, I don't know, just wanted to check. And then that person will be like, nah, there's no issue. And then you do adapt it up. Slucky, go ahead.
I wanted to say is we should always keep in mind that we are men, and you can approach other brother as a man, but he's also a man, so you should respect him also to be a man.
Exactly. You don't want to disrespect his manhood, man. You disrespect him as a man. That's not going to turn away wrath. You going up to him, calling him all sorts of names. This is what you do. You just go there and speak polite, man. Be polite. You don't need to swear and raise your voice and clench your fists and all of those kind of things, man. Because by you doing that, what does that do? That then invites a demon to jump on him. And then there's already a demon on you, and one's jumped on him. And these two demons is going to go for it in the street, man. These two demons is going to be running around chasing each other with knives. Whereas a soft answer could get rid of that demon that's on him, man. Maybe he's got a demon on him and he's scared to approach you, and you approach him first with a soft answer. And then afterwards, he might go home and be like, you know what? I needed that talk. And I'm glad me and this brother sorted it out. That demon's left him. There's no demon on you because you've dealt with the issue. But read on.
Come. but grievous words stir up anger.
Read that again.
But grievous words stir up anger.
Grievous words stir up anger, man. Meaning your grievous words is going to cause someone to become angry. Pick your words carefully, man. Be careful how you speak to one another. Be careful how you address each other, man. Grievous words stir up anger. And then obviously you get a brother angry, you start getting angry, both of you is getting angry, going back and forth. It's just something that you don't need. So a soft answer turns away wrath, man. These proverbs is wise sayings. It's wise sayings, man. You follow these proverbs, and your life will become a hell of a lot easier, man. Because a soft answer turns away wrath. A soft answer can be the difference between you getting stabbed and shot, man. That could be the difference. A soft answer could be the difference between you living and you dying. That's the difference, man. Is there any more on that? Is that about it?
Yeah, kind of.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright.
The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, man. You can tell when a wise man's speaking. There's a man out there who's not wise, and you can tell by his conversation. The Bible says even wait, read on afterwards. Find me the next one where it says a fool's considered wise until he opens his mouth.
But the mouth of the fool uh, poureth out foolishness.
Read on.
And what should I say? Read on.
Read.
The eyes of the Lord are in every place. Behold,
Go up a verse. Go up a verse to the one you just read.
that means I should go to Proverbs 14.
Wait, hold on. No. Read. Where was you?
We at Proverbs 15 and 2.
Read verse. Read verse 2 again.
The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright.
Tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. Meaning, like you could be there and a brother's just kicking knowledge, is spitting out wise words, is telling you about wise decisions. Don't do this. Don't do that. He's giving you wise decisions. Go ahead.
But the mouth of the fool poureth out foolishness.
And you can tell when you're around the foolish man because all they do is talk foolishness. Everything that they talk about is just everything unlawful. Everything is sin and disgusting. That's all they talk about. Says the fool of the tongue of the wise poureth out foolishness. Like they'll give you some terrible advice, and you should know the difference between someone who's pouring out knowledge and someone who's pouring out foolishness. You should know which people you want to align yourself with. Don't be aligning yourself with people who pour out foolishness. Everything that comes from their mouth is foolish and childish and stupid. Don't align yourself with those people, man. Align yourself with people that have knowledge. Because the man that talks foolishness is just going to get you a jail sentence, man. He's just going to glorify something disgusting which shouldn't be glorified. They're glorifying all this foolishness. They're saying, yeah, let's get high every day and 420. Listen, that's foolishness, man. Then them mouth pours out foolishness. A man telling you don't smoke and take care of yourself, look after yourself. That's a wise man. He's telling you not to do drugs. That's a wise man. I think you should listen to him instead of listening to someone that's telling you, oh, who cares? Just get high. We're going to die anyway. That's someone who's telling you foolishness, man. Read on.
Canada one council. Verse 3. I think that there was it on it. So.
All right, then find me the next one where it says even the fool's considered wise.
If he keep his mouth closed.
Yeah, that one. Was you able to find it, or should I Google it?
Also, I'm looking.
Hold on, let me find it.
And my phone is, being used right now.
Yeah, give me a Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 28.
17, 20. Yeah, you got him, sir. This is the book of Proverbs,
Actually,
chapter.
go to verse 27 actually.
Another one come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 27. He that hath knowledge spared his word.
He that have knowledge spares his words, man. He that has knowledge don't run his mouth and all of those things, man. A wise man don't run his mouth 24/7. Usually, what you'll find is the man that runs his mouth 24/7 has no knowledge. He's got a lot of words which is all empty, all these empty promises and all of this and that. Listen, man. He don't spare his words. He just runs his mouth, and his words is just all empty. Go ahead.
And a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit.
Man of
Spirit.
understanding is of an excellent spirit, man. A man that kicks back and pays attention and studies and learns and does what he's supposed to do. He's of an excellent spirit, man. A man that has knowledge and so forth. He's of an excellent spirit. Go ahead. That's the way you want to be. You want to be a man who's of an excellent spirit, who has knowledge, who makes wise decisions, who don't just blurt out anything, who spares his words. Sometimes you want to spare your words, man. Especially with Facebook. You don't want to be typing everything on Facebook. Because though you might delete the post the next day when you calm down, someone screenshotted it already, man. And then people mark you. People put a marker on you like this person here. Stay away from that person there, man. That person's a horrible person, man. That person does this, does that, says this, does that. Stay away from that person, man. They don't have a good reputation. Listen, man. Spare your words sometimes. Sometimes just shut your mouth, man. That's it. Sometimes shut your mouth, man. You're
Right.
around, you're around men who outrank you, man. Sometimes shut your mouth. They don't want to hear your stupid, childish conversations. Sometimes shut your mouth, man. Listen, Ira, man. Listen, at the Passover, I'm around big captain. I shut my mouth, man. I don't say nothing, man. I spare my words, man. I don't run my mouth and make a fool out of myself. Listen, man. Spare your words sometimes, man. Go ahead.
Another one come. Verse 28. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is concerned wise.
And now, if you
Is
shut your mouth,
counted wise.
because nobody knows you're a fool until you speak, man. That's what gives it away. Nobody knows you was a fool until you opened your mouth. Why you opened your mouth? That gave it away. That let us know. Oh yeah, he's a fool, man. He said this. Oh yeah, she said this. By you opening your mouth and the words you blurt out of that big mouth of yours, lets us know that you're a fool, man. At least if you're not wise, at least look wise by shutting your mouth. If you are a fool and hide from the face open your mouth, that's know you're a fool, man. Because you can't close your mouth. You know you're a fool. At least look wise, man. At least try and look wise for 5 minutes. Keep your mouth shut for 5 minutes and appear wise, man. But you blurt out everything, and everybody's looking at you like, what's wrong with this man? What's wrong with this woman? We know you're a fool based off what you blurt out of your mouth. And then we know, yo, this person here is a fool, man. This person said such and such. The Bible says even a fool is considered wise if he holds his peace, because then nobody knows you're a fool. Nobody knows. We don't know nothing about you until you open your mouth. Like usually with people, you usually need to know what you need to know about them after a 5-minute conversation. To speak to someone for 5 minutes and you can kind of work out what kind of person this person is. You can work out ahead based on the choice words they use, based on the stuff to say. You can work out if this person's an airhead or not. So even a fool is considered wise when they hold their peace. At least if you keep your mouth shut, no one can say nothing bad about you. They can't be like, well, such and such said this, such and such said that. So sometimes keeping your mouth shut works wonders, man. Sometimes keeping your mouth shut works wonders. But we know you're a fool because you have to blurt out everything. You have to run your mouth all day. You're around people that you don't even know, running your mouth. You don't know who this person is, and you're telling them your whole life story. Sometimes you don't need to tell people your whole life story, man. That's another thing. You're telling someone your whole life story who ain't even listening to it. Sometimes keep your mouth shut, man. You're trying to get counsel from a million different people. This is what you do. The Bible says, of counselors have but one, man. Don't be trying to go to 1,000 different people for counsel. Why? Because you're going to get 1,000 different answers, and then you're going to confuse yourself. You're going to be like, well, such and such said this, such and such said that. You're going to get counsel. You just get it from one brother, man. Simplify life. Life don't have to be as difficult as we make it. But read on, is there any more on that?
Counsel there is.
Go ahead.
And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
Man, the Lord saying, shut your mouth, man. And then you might just come across as a man of understanding. A man that don't speak much, people might just think you're a man of understanding. Even if you're not a man of understanding, you're a man that says many foolish words. Shut your mouth and nobody will know that, man. People know you based off your words, based off what you say. Drop that, take me back to where was I in Matthew 18?
Canada one can. And if I'm not mistaken, verse 29.
Oh, yeah, take me back to Matthew 18. We still had some in Luke 22, right?
I got
all right, quickly take me back to Matthew
22. And yes, I think the Matthew 18 we was at 29. So like you said, 1:7. No, 23. Salaki, I got it.
What was in Matthew 15, 23?
Matthew 18 and 23.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 23. Therefore is the King of heaven.
Now we dropped that. I remember we went back to verse 15. Probably 16 now. Yeah, verse 15. So we was there, verse 15. Matthew 18.
Moreover, if the brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
So you go and tell him his fault between him alone, right? Because when there's more people there, everyone's got egos. Nobody wants to look weak. If it's just used to there's nobody to impress. Used to just go and speak. Guess what? Nobody needs to know what you're speaking about, man. Because no one else knew there was an issue because you didn't broadcast it. Then used to was speaking. Everyone would just think, oh yeah, they've just gone to the shop or they just whatnot. No one would even question what used to was speaking about because they ain't gonna know there was an issue. But the thing is this: when you have an issue and you tell the whole world, I don't like such and such, guess what happens? Everybody knows there's an issue. Now everyone knows there's tension between you two. Why? Because you haven't addressed the issue. Like you don't want to do that. Why? Because if two people don't like each other, let's say two people in the school don't like each other, this person's got a group of friends, this person's got a group of friends. What happens? The school then gets split down the middle. So half the school don't like the other half of the school. Why? And then the school becomes basically two bodies because two people didn't like each other and they turned their friends against this person and this person turned their friends against that person. The school then becomes like two bodies. We can't have that in here, man. In here is one body, and everybody has to get along. There's not going to be no two groups in the school. There's not going to be no this brother and his crew and this brother and his crew. How about we all be one crew? How about we all be one crew? There shouldn't be no divide in the school. These brothers don't mess with these brothers. No. That's not the place for this, man. This ain't the place for this. In here, it's one body, man, and we all get along with each other, and we all love each other. And if we have any issue with each other, this is what we do. Read on, Ira.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
And if he shall hear thee, then you've gained your brother. Meaning, you go to the brother, you say, you know what? I think the way you spoke to me in there, it was wrong, and I don't appreciate it. And you obviously don't need to say it like that, but you just word it like in a way where the brother can understand your point. Put it in a way where if the shoe was on the other foot, how he would feel, kind of. You don't want to go put him on blast. You just want to say, oh man, what you done there is, I didn't appreciate it, and I'm just letting you know because I felt a certain type of way. And then the brother will probably say, Salaki, I didn't mean for you to feel that type of way. Because maybe the brother's skin might just be, maybe his jokes, he sees it as not that serious or whatever. and you might take it personal. Like you might be sensitive in certain areas and he wasn't aware of it. So you just let him know, you know what, I'm sensitive about this because this happened in my life or that happened in my life and I don't want to joke about it. And he will say, all right, so lucky I didn't know, I didn't mean to offend you. And then you've gained your brother. But if you hold it in, you're going to hate that brother's going to hate you. Read on.
Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more.
So if he won't hear you, that's when you go and get your witnesses. Then you go and get your one or two more. And then they will be there to, hear out the situation and hear out what you two are speaking of. Take with thee one or two more. Go ahead.
That in the mouth of two or three witness
So now,
every word.
three witnesses, why? Because he didn't hear you the first time. So you don't want to keep drilling it in his head of why he should hear you. After that, you just say, okay, no sweat, 2 or 3 witnesses. And then they will make sure every word's established. They will be like, okay, well, what the brother said was this, A, B, C, D. How the other brother responded was A, B, C, D. So there'll be witnesses to it. Because if there's no witnesses to it, one man can lie and say he didn't do this, he didn't do that. So as long as there's witnesses, they will make sure every word's established. So when they have to write a report on the situation, all them 3 witnesses' report should say the same thing. None of them should differentiate from each other's. But I read on.
2 or 3 witness every word may be established. Verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
So now if you neglect to hear them brothers also, imagine them brothers is saying, nah, you're wrong. And he still chooses to be stubborn and neglects to hear you and them. Go ahead.
Then tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican.
Listen, man, you're going to be out of here, man. You neglect to hear the whole school. Okay, you're not going to listen to us. That's fine. You can't acknowledge that you're wrong. That's fine. You're just going to be treated as a heathen and a publican. Meaning we don't have dealings with them. We're going to have no dealings with you. We're going to see you and walk right past you like you don't exist and you're no longer being here, man. If everyone's telling you you're in the wrong, that means you must be in the wrong. If you're not going to hear the 3 witnesses and the rest of the school, that means you can't acknowledge when you're wrong. When you're wrong, you ain't willing to acknowledge it. You're going to believe that you're always right. We can't have people like that around. If the council says you're wrong, man, and you better acknowledge it, man. Or you can just be like a publican and a heathen. You can just go to the Christian church where you're correct all the time. You can go to the Christian church where you're right every single time. But in here, you're going to hear us, man. If not, then you just treat it as a publican and heathen. We're not going to keep drilling it in your head. It's just like, okay, shalom, this is going to be the last time you hear us say shalom. You just go do whatever you want. We're going to be, all right, Lord, we with you, you're right. You just go be right out there. And then it becomes a you problem, man. If you neglect to hear what we're saying to you. But drop that, take me back to, where was we? We was in Luke 22. Take me back to Luke 22.
I have also Corinthians 11.
Yeah, go ahead. Have you read Corinthians 11 already?
You say we was in Corinthians, and then I had to hold it to go to Matthew, and we had Luke hold from the start.
All right, then take me back to Luke then.
So drop Corinthians also.
Yeah. You can drop Corinthians now. I think we covered. Yeah, I think we covered it. Yeah.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 29.
Yeah, go ahead.
And appoint unto you a king, as my father had appointed unto me, that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom.
Christ is letting his loyal men know in the kingdom you're going to be eating and drinking at his table, man. Not everyone's going to get to eat and drink at Christ's table. Why? Because many people say they love the truth and all of those things. Many people say they love the truth and all of those things, but then they leave it. Now you don't leave what you love. They're leaving their first love. You ain't going to be drinking at Christ's table in the kingdom, man. That table is for righteous men. That table is for men that stand with him stiffly, man. That table's for those kind of men. not for a man that's lukewarm. It's not for a man that doesn't want to do nothing. It's not for a lazy man that just screams he loves God, but doesn't show he loves God with his actions. It's not for that, man. It's for people who are down with the Lord, man, who follow the orders, who come up in the UPK. It's for those kind of people, man. This ain't for no cowards. No cowards are going to be sitting at Christ's table and drinking and eating. It don't work that way, man. You have to earn it. And how do you earn it? By no, that's how you earn it, man. By serving Christ, by serving the Most High and Christ, doing what you're supposed to do, man. That's how you earn that seat at the table. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that we stayed at 23 and not 29.
Sorry, say that again. We was where?
23.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, no sweat.
Uh,
Oh yeah, was it 23?
Khan, sir, I was right.
Yeah, he was right. Yeah, it was 23 was supposed to be at. Go ahead.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 23. Salaki for that.
Actually, start from 21. Go back to 21.
Verse 21. But behold, the hand of him that betrayed me is with me on the table.
So imagine this. You're a traitor and you're trying to eat breakdown. You're trying to eat food with Christ and you're a traitor. You've got an issue with a man and you don't want to tell him about this issue, but you want to break bread with him. We can't be like that, man. Because like I said, if we hold in feelings and we being emotional, we've got an issue with a brother, but we ain't going to tell him that we have an issue, but we eating food with him. That makes us the same as Judas, man. Judas done the same things. Ate food with a brother that he hated, man. Ate food with a brother that he knew he was going to go get him killed. And that's why in Corinthians, Paul said, many eat and drink unworthily. They ain't worthy to be eating and drinking amongst this brotherhood if they don't want to be a part of it, man. If they hating these brothers. The whole point of us coming together is because of this brotherhood. The whole point of us eating together is because of this brotherhood. And if you hate any of these brothers in a part of which is a part of this brotherhood, you're eating and drinking unworthily, man. You're like Judas and you don't even know it. But read on.
Verse 22. And truly the Son of Man good, as it was determined. But woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed.
Christ is saying destruction to that man by who the Son of Man is betrayed by. And he was betrayed by Judas, man. Judas was sitting around the table, had the cheek to ask, is it I? Nigga, you know it's you. You know it's you. Because you having meetings with the scribes and the Pharisees. You're having meetings with them of how you can betray him to have the nerve to say, is it I? Of course it's you. You know it's you. Had the cheek to ask, is it I? But go ahead.
Verse 23. And they began to inquire among themselves which of them it was that should do this thing.
So now they all started looking at each other and started to say, yo, is it you? Is it him? Is it him? They're looking at each other. And usually in these situations, what happens? You start looking around at the men, and the man that you think that's probably the man that you think is probably the weakest link in the group, you're thinking it must be him. It must be him. In your mind, you're thinking, I think it's him. And in his mind, he's thinking it might be you. So you all look at each other saying, yo, so who's the traitor amongst us? Because there's men there that's thinking, well, it ain't me. And there's men there that's thinking, if it's not me, it's someone. It has to be one of these. They're all looking around at each other, wondering who could it be. And Judas is sitting there knowing it's him. When he could have just said, you know what, Salaki, there's a demon on me. I should have came and spoke to you and told you how I feel. And he sat down and acted like it wasn't him. You know when someone does something and acts like it's not them. He acted like it wasn't him, and he had the cheek to ask, is it I? These times he knows it's him. Read on.
Another one can. Verse 24. And there was also a strife among them. Which of them shall be accounted the greatest?
Why? Because they knew that Christ said that the Son of Man is going to go. So they understood, okay then, the leader of us, he's going. So who's in charge when he leaves? So they started to see who was the greatest amongst them. I'm in charge. No, you're not. I'm in charge. No, you're not. I'm in charge. I do more work than you. I do more classes than you. I do more this than you. So they started to inquire amongst each other who's in charge, who's going to step up, who's going to get that rank raise and take that next position. So they was arguing and fighting over it. And then Christ is letting them know, look, man, but read on.
Which of them shall be accounted the greatest? Come. And there was also a strife among them, which of them shall be accounted the greatest.
Oh, Ira,
And
drop this for time's sake. Give me Acts chapter 2 and verse 1 for time's sake.
this is the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place.
This is what? The Feast of First Fruits. Pentecost, Pente means what? 50. So obviously the Feast of First Fruits is what? 50 days after the Passover. Go ahead. So this is what they're all there on one accord, celebrating. They all come together. Go ahead.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind,
Go ahead.
and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
They was sitting there. Why? Because this is a feast day for them. So they all come together. And a miracle happened. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues, like as of.
They appeared to them cloven tongues like a fire. Why? Because all these men that came together was all Israelites from different nations. So they all come together. They all traveled to Jerusalem to come and keep this feast. So they all traveled there. So it's going to let you know the locations of where they all traveled from, which this precept reminds me of Passover, man. You had brothers there speaking different languages, different tongues. Go ahead.
And it sat upon each of them.
And these tongues set upon each of them. Go ahead.
And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost.
And that word there's supposed to be spirit. So when it says ghost, the word there's supposed to be spirit. So they was all filled with the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
And began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance.
The spirit of utterance. So these men all spoke different languages, but at the time they was all speaking and they could understand each other. Even though they spoke different languages, they could all understand each other. Like this was the nation, which this was their native language that they were speaking at the time. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews.
And these people here were dwelling at Jerusalem. It says Jews. So all these people at Jerusalem was Jews. Don't miss that key point, because people pull this precept to you and say, oh, these was all other nations. But it's letting you know there was Jews dwelling at Jerusalem. So all these people were Jews. Go ahead.
Devout men.
And these were Jews. Devout men out of what?
Every nation under heaven.
Jews out of every nation under heaven. And at the Passover was Jews out of every nation under heaven, man. At the Passover, there was Jews from Mexico, Jews from Puerto Rico, Jews from Brazil, Jews from Jamaica, Jews from Trinidad, Jews from England, Jews from Holland, Jews, devout men out of every nation, man. That's who it's talking about. You see how you had all these brothers at Passover that speak different languages, but there was all Israelites. Same thing they had in Peter's time. All these Israelites that spoke different language. That's what this precept's talking about. Ain't talking about some Chinese man. You didn't see one Chinese man at the Passover, man. Why?
It's not the one.
Heathens, man. You didn't see one Arab man at the Passover. Why? Because the heathens, man. You didn't see one black British man at the Passover. Why? Because the heathens. But what you did see was black Israelite British men at the Passover. Because why? They're Israelites. What you did see is Native Americans at the Passover. Why? Because the Israelites.
Right.
Devout men out of every nation. Go ahead. Now, this ain't talking about a white man from England could attend the Passover. Ain't saying a white man from Holland could attend the Passover. They can't do that, man. Hey, read on.
Another one count. Verse 6. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
Every man had them speak in his own language. Go ahead.
And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to other, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans?
So there was like, ain't all these which speak Galileans, right? They could all hear them like in their own native tongue. Go ahead.
Canada one can. Verse 8. And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born?
Meaning, wherever they was born, they was speaking different languages. So now, if you was born in China, you'd be speaking Mandarin. Now, if you're a black man that was born in China, your language would be Mandarin. But when you come to when they came to this event, though you speak in Mandarin, a nigga that's speaking patois understanding you, like he's speaking patois to him, he's understanding you, and you're understanding his patois like he's speaking Mandarin to you. Because this is a miracle that the Lord done. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Parthians and Medes and Elamites.
And now
And
these is Jews was in all these nations. So it says Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia, in Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians. We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God. Listen, man, they was all speaking like they were speaking the same language. And that's like, was it the Passover, man? At the Passover, man, a brother was speaking Spanish to me. I don't know Spanish, but I could understand him. So lucky. I could half understand him. He was speaking Spanish to me. I understand. The British accent, when we speak with the British accent, some of the brothers is looking at us like, what the hell are these niggas talking about? I had to slow it down. The brother's like, damn. A brother's like, I get what you're saying, but I don't get what you're saying. I had to slow it down for him, man. Listen, man. We go through these things, but I read on.
Canada one cancer. Verse 10. Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt and in parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes.
So now, the whole point of it is all these Jews that was dwelling in Jerusalem is the same thing we was doing at the Passover, man. Brothers from all walks of life come together. Brothers we only see on the internet met each other, man. And that brotherhood was noised abroad, man. You see that brotherhood? Imagine this. You got brothers from the UK, brothers from Houston, Brazil, everywhere, man. Puerto Rico, Mexico, everywhere, man. And we all came together as one. And we all was one body. We all had a ball of a time, man. And we all was there because we all want to serve Christ, man. We all want to serve the Most High in Christ, man. That's what brought us all together. Without that, this thing would be pointless. That's our common goal, to be in the truth and love the Lord and serve Him. That's what brought us all together. Now, without that, we would never come together. You see how we came together like that? People in the world need to experience that so they can come together with their brothers.
That's right.
They need to see how we all came together. Imagine this, we're from all walks of life and we don't know each other. But what we do know is we love each other. Why? Because we have one common goal. Imagine this. At the Passover, people lost their wallets and phones and everything. And guess what? There was a lost property department where in the Passover, people was like, I found this. People's handing things in. Try doing that in the world. You ain't going to get your things back, man. Try doing that in the world. You ain't going to get nothing back, man. Listen, man. At the Passover, man, the kids was running around freely, man. And the kids was safe. Why? Because everyone in the ISUPK is law-abiding citizens that keep the laws, man. That keep the laws of God. And we love everybody's children like they're our own. Why? Because they are our own children. We one family, man. We raised all them children, man. You had babies running around at the Passover free without a care in the world, man. Because they knew they was in safe hands. They knew that they was protected, man. And we let's clap it up and we're going to do the security announcements and we out of there. Hold on, I'm finding security announcements. Hold on, I must have left them at the back. All right, this is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When the new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21. Malachi chapter 3 and 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashera, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. So Saturday sundown is the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So come on down to that, 394 Lodge Road, B18, 5PW. Also, remember, you're supposed to be eating unleavened bread every day. You're supposed to be eating unleavened bread every day until the closing. If you need the recipe, just shoot me a message, the recipe over. Or some places you can buy it. Some places you can buy it, but don't just order the tortilla wraps you see, because obviously some of them have raisin agents in. So you have to read the ingredients correctly, because you could be yeast knowing it. Also, you can read in the breadcrumbs.
Salakia, sir. If I may. You there, sir? Well, that was the class for today. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yashav. Barakatam to the brother. Yahweh Shamar. Elata Ba Hashem Yashav to the sisters.